This shot should miss, but it doesn't, and that's because I've applied a secret technique that makes some cushion shots easier to play, and therefore some impossible shots become possible. To start off with, there's a big difference between how you play a shot where the object ball's touching the cushion compared to one where the object ball is just close to the cushion, where it plays almost like any other shot, except you need to be a little bit more accurate. As the shot moves to the edge of the table, the pockets tighten up, reducing the margin for error. A snooker player needs to rely on their hidden knowledge of the game to be able to pot a ball like this. The secret to lining up a shot like this is to aim for the far jaw, because the far jaw is angled in towards the pocket. So when the object ball hits it, it gets pulled in and gravity takes over. However, if I so much as touch the cushion with the object ball on the way down towards the pocket will then reject the object ball because the object ball's moving away. It's not always obvious that you've hit the cushion, but if you can avoid it, you'd be surprised at how much you're falling off the far jaw. That is, if you've played it at a slow enough speed. A ball falls into a pocket once it's succumbed to gravity, and the faster it's moving, the longer this will take, and the less likely it is to eventually drop. Which is why it's vital to leave a thinner angle on these shots. Often you need to get the cue ball back out into the middle of the table for position, and it's so much easier to do this with a thinner shot because you can strike the white at a slower pace, increasing the chances that gravity will simply take over. And when you inevitably do finish too straight on one of these shots, instead of trying to power the ball back into position and risk missing the pot, the secret is to think about what the minimum you need to do to get in position is. So here I'm probably going to be quite good if I can just get the white into this position. And that means I don't have to put so much into the shot and there's less chance I'm going to miss it. So I can just pop that cleanly off the far jaw, give myself a shot at the black. Not as easy as it could have been, but I'm not making the first shot any harder, so there's less of a risk of me missing that. And if I can knock this in slow enough, I can finish it on the reds up there. However, even though the pots are quite difficult, all of these shots so far are still ordinary shots. But that changes when the object ball gets really close to the cushion. As I've already explained, when the object ball's touching the cushion, the shot feels completely different. But you're not going to notice that on a straight shot like this. No, this only really makes a difference with an angle. With a sensible angle to get back out into the middle of the table, if the cushion and ball are struck simultaneously, then the object ball is unlikely to go anywhere near the pocket, and this is all because of a phenomenon known as impact throw. This is where, for a small fraction of a second on contact, the object ball gets pulled in the same direction as the cue ball, straightening the shot up. An effect that only increases the thinner the shot gets. Over time, snooker players simply learn to compensate for this, hitting the shots thinner. But when the ball's on the cushion, this simply isn't possible because the cushion gets in the way, and any impact throw from this position will maneuver the object ball directly into the cushion, forcing the shot wide. In a weird way, having the object ball on the cushion makes this angular shot easier to play, because as long as you line up to strike the cushion just before the ball, then the white isn't going to be throwing the object ball wide, so you don't really have to allow for that. And that means as long as I just strike it just cushion first, it'll just hug the cushion and drop in nicely. Obviously, if the cue ball strikes the cushion slightly too early, this will also pull the object ball away. But there is a small window in which you can hit it a bit too early, but still pot the ball. And there's a secret that allows you to make this window, this space you've got to pot the ball, even bigger. Of course, the biggest secret to make this window wider is of course side spin, but then you have to use the correct side spin. To play this type of shot, you need to strike the cue ball on the opposite side to the cushion. So the cushion is on my left here, so I strike the cue ball on the right. And this is going to give me a bigger window in which to hit the ball cushion first, which will still allow me to pot the ball in. And of course, when the object ball's touching a cushion on the right, left-hand side can be used to make the window bigger. But that doesn't mean this is always the best way of playing the shot. Partly because this involves lining shots up with side spin, which gets harder to do the further you are away from the object ball. You want to be doing this more when you're closer in. But mostly just play the right shot for position. For example, if I was to pot this without any side spin, I'd probably hit the black. But because I'm close to the object ball, I can pot it easily with side along the cushion, which not only helps me pot it, but I get better position. However, if I have exactly the same shot further along the cushion, playing it with side spin will cause the cue ball to head towards the cushion. Whereas if I just play this one plain ball, I'm actually in better position on the black, and it didn't really make the shot any harder. And when you're a bit straight on a shot, you can use running side to help get the cue ball further away from the cushions with less speed and less risk of you missing the pot. Using the correct spin with a cushion shot will really help you out. Something else to take into consideration is just how much spin affects throw. It doesn't matter if it's top spin, backspin or even side spin. Generally speaking, the more the cue ball is rotating, the less it will throw the object ball, and the less it's spinning, similar to a stun shot, the more the object ball will be thrown wide. Usually if you're playing a thin cut, you may have already noticed that if you play it with top spin or play it as a screw shot, it's easier to cut thin than a stun shot. Quite often you may find a stun shot actually causes you to overcut a ball, and that's simply because you're inducing more throw. Which means if the object ball's on the cushion or close to it, the hardest way to get out for a bolt colour, for example here, will be to play this as a stun shot. I'll have to be the most accurate spinning the ball like that. And it's actually going to be a far easier shot to play because it will cause it to throw less if I play the shot with either top spin or back spin. Let's just quickly find Summer, who's in Sackville, New Brunswick, Canada, which is there. Once you know all of this, you can take things to extremes. Using the knowledge I've already shown you, you can pot a shot like this one. Obviously one that's far too thin to cut in, but I'm able to do so using side spin. What's happening is I'm using side spin to hit the cushion before the ball, just like I was with all the other side spin shots. Just like before, the side gives you a bigger window in which to pot the ball, but with this you have to be more accurate. Were it a shallower angle, I could hit anywhere on the cushion between here and the ball with right hand side and still pot it. But because I'm trying to cut at such a thin angle, I need to use the entirety of this window. And in fact, if I get too close to the ball and just miss it, it won't cut it at the right angle down the cushion. In order to pot this shot, I need to give a little bit of a gap, and that'll give me the speed I need to pot the ball down the cushion. But as I explained earlier, you can't play these shots with side spin until you understand what it does and how to line the shots up. But luckily, these two videos explain exactly that in detail and show you exactly what you need to do to successfully pot a ball with side. And remember, don't just watch, play, and make the commitment to becoming a better player by subscribing to the channel and visit the website. See you later.